Go live. Testing normal.
Hey guys.
What's up?
Hey guys.
Hey. We're back. Curtis is on his phone.
Yep.
This is Testing Normal, episode 27.
27. Dubs.
7. Say.
Siete.
Wait,
siete.
siete.
Yeah, siete.
We
Dub
totally
siete.
can speak Spanish.
Hashtags Espanol perfecto.
Yeah, we had an argument beforehand about what episode this was. But that's not new. We do that at every episode.
And so we did some math. We carried the 2 and divided the 3.
And moved the decimal point.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up...
Yeah, the Dewey we used the Dewey
The
Decimal
original
system
figure
for
was
that.
2,452, and we're like, we couldn't have done that many.
Mm-mm.
It's 27.
Yeah, then we landed on 27.
Yeah.
After that.
So,
dude, today we have a super special guest, don't we?
Yeah, we haven't
Probably-
revealed him yet.
Nope.
Look, see, they can't see.
They can't see and they can't hear him yet. We
They
have
did see
his mouth
picture, though.
shut. We're keeping his mouth shut.
Well, technically, right now, no.
No, actually, we're not.
He could talk.
He can talk.
Anyway, it is
The one, the only, Mr.
Josh
Lambert. Wow, 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 wow. Josh Lambert.
the brother.
The one, the only. Look at him there.
Hello.
Looking fancy. Josh Lambert.
Hello, Testing Normal World. It's a Saturday morning, and we are not used to this. We used to do mornings, though. So funny, because someone asked me about that, and I was like, no, we used to do in the morning, but it wasn't very convenient for us, and, you know, it wasn't as popular of a time, but when weekends get busy and work happens and family comes into town, things change.
Yeah.
So,
dude, there's been a lot going on this week, changes-wise. Jordan, you had something big happen this week.
Yeah, I finally got rid of my house.
Finally got rid of his house. Congrats, dude, on the big sale.
Awesome. I'm pulling a millennial and living in my parents' basement for right now. But not just doing that. I'm doing that with a wife and 4 kids.
Okay.
That's upstaging most people.
Okay, can I make a little comment about that, though?
What?
So people call it, like, you know, they say these millennials are just living with their parents and bumming off their parents and stuff. But if you think about it, it's kind of an interesting idea because, like, historically, maybe it's not necessarily like being bums, but it's just like reverting back to a culture where you live with family. Like, family lives with, you know, kids live with their parents and they build onto their houses and extend, like maybe some, like, you know, Middle Eastern families or South American families. I think the big difference is like what you do, because that would be like being a part of it. But if you're just like sitting playing video games all day long, which I can guarantee you I am not doing in that space, I'm like actually working and trying to contribute and, you know, not be a bum. So the key is you're still working and you're still contributing to the household. But if you weren't doing that, then it would be a typical millennium
It'd be
thing.
pretty lame.
It'd be like a typical Millennium Falcon thing.
Millennium Falcon, very close. But this thing is, it's like I hate that stereotype too. It's like not all millennials are like that.
No.
Some of them are actually like way more go-getters than boomers. So take that.
That's true, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's doing fairly okay for himself. I mean, he's being sued by like 3 countries for billions of
dollars.
But he's got the billions of dollars to pay him. So good luck, you know.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
You prepared yourself well for that
audit.
So
we digressed a little bit. I don't know how that happened. But Jordan sold his house. Congratulations, dude. That's very cool. And it's a hassle. Isn't that a cluster trying to sell a house, man?
It is so weird.
Yeah.
It's odd. It's like, I want to move. I need a bigger place. But then it's like all these memories that are there. We've been there for like 10 years. And then it's like, wow, it's just nicer than I've ever experienced it. And then you leave.
Yeah.
It's like,
that is interesting.
all this stuff that you'll put up with because you're just living there.
Yeah.
And, you know, but
even if you don't own the house, like still like living in a place for a long period of time and then moving, you've put so many experiences into a house.
Right.
It's like, dude, this is kind of heavy.
Yeah.
Josh, how many houses do you think you've lived in since you've been? How many places? I thought about this the other day. I was like, how many places?
Like since I was born?
No, not since you were born. Like since you moved out of your parents. Like how many places do you think you've
oh man, 1
lived in?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 homes.
I think 6.
Isn't that crazy? Thought of like 6 homes, huge experiences, children being born in different locations.
Yeah.
Fights with your wife, you know, some crazy dreams, all these things that you've had.
Those fights, those are the thing that you don't want to let go of.
You don't want to let those go because you always want to hold those as leverage at some point.
Yeah. Remember when we fought right over there? You can't say that anymore.
Remember where I won that argument?
Right over there in that chair, and then you didn't talk to me for 4 days because I quote unquote one.
Yeah. Right.
You know, my wife and I talk about this a lot. Like when you have another kid, because we have 3 now.
Yeah.
By the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
Josh just had his 3rd baby. What?
Yeah.
Like
10-ish weeks ago.
10 weeks ago. Yeah. 2.5 months.
I don't know.
I wasn't paying attention.
Somewhere in May. Yeah. When you have a kid, it doesn't take very long before it's hard for you to imagine not ever having that kid.
That is
right?
Yes.
And I feel like
so crazy
when you move to a new location, new home, apartment, whatever, it's kind of similar. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to imagine like not having lived there.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of becomes a part of you in a way. But
That's kind of the space that I'm living in because we haven't gone to a new place. So there's nothing new to like distract me from the memories that are, now in the past of the old place. So it's like, I don't have a new place to experience yet. So all I get is these sad thoughts of memories left behind.
Dude, your new home though that you're moving into looks pretty sweet, man. It's like how many 6 bedrooms?
Just 6.
Like a baller over here. Just a baller 6 bedrooms. My gosh. That's insane, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, when you have
he needs it.
a billion children.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, with 6 bedrooms, you can
one of them's going to be a holodeck. I'm just going to paint it black with yellow lines.
Star Trek it.
And then just VR in there.
Yes.
But when
Even though you won't see those lines because you'll be in VR in it.
I joke because I'm married. That's not going to happen. But, let the record stand that if something were to happen, I would be really sad. But at the same time, I'd probably get that holodeck.
Well, speaking about house projects, I just want to give a huge shout out to my wife because she's been super tough. She's pregnant. She's about to have a baby. Super pregnant. In 1 week about to have our 3rd kiddo. Man. And she has been putting up with having basically a kitchen sink alternative, which is called a bathtub.
Yeah.
For the past 2 months. And it's been really tough. But we finally got our kitchen sink set up.
Disposal?
Technically no.
Okay.
But we used not a KitchenAid, just a hand blender, to grind the stuff up before we threw it down the toilet. Or not the toilet.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, no. Anything that had substance, we just put down the toilet because it's made for,
Well, yeah, it's supposed to take, solid waste.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, anyways, that being said, we got our sink back. We're living the life of luxury right now.
It's true.
With a sink and a garbage disposal. So
it's a super nice sink, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great sink.
Yeah.
It's a great sink. We're going to give our baby baths in that sink, probably.
Wait, in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Why not?
That's weird that
best place for it.
How odd do you think it is that you did dishes in a bathtub and now you're going to rinse your baby off in a sink? Like, you kind of like reverse purposing things.
That's
here.
kind of funny, actually. That is funny. It's ironic, but...
Sorry, this isn't shower thought time, but that's mine for the day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a proponent for bathtub situation wherever you can get it.
It's true. I heard some guy brag this morning.
I can get a bubble bath.
That he can shower with less than half a gallon of water. I'm like, I'm sitting over here.
Shower with less than half. Less than half. That's more of like a wipe down, I think, situation.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's that.
I wonder how long that is in like terms of, I don't know, full pressure shower.
Well, see, I think he did it from a jug. Like that's how he showered was from a jug.
I mean,
he was very much bragging.
I mean, I don't know how many gallons per minute my shower is, but I guess you could figure it out. It'd be interesting to see.
Or even like
how many seconds is that?
Yeah, how many seconds? I'm gonna throw down
2.
I'm gonna say if it was like a full pressure shower head, I'm gonna say it's probably 20. I'm gonna say 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, 20 to 30.
I would think it has to be that or less. Yeah.
Yeah. But also they have like those high economy efficient ones that just basically blow mist at you really fast.
Yeah, but it takes 4 times longer to shower, so they don't save any water. You end up using double the amount of water because the shower is not doing anything.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't stand that slimy feeling.
I know.
Like I have to rinse well. Like I'm not feeling any slime or soap or anything.
Dude, talking about being smooth and clean, let's just talk about your arms right now, Mr. Lambert. Mr. Josh here. I was just admiring your arms. They're very impressive. Like well shaved.
They are smooth.
And let's talk about that real quick. How does this happen? Like, are you a straight blade kind of guy with these arms, or are you throwing down like Gillette? What do you do?
No,
how are you getting these so smooth?
Same as my face.
Oh yeah.
Yep. 5 blades.
5 blades. Mach 5.
Pretty much.
Well, it's
like the Mach 5 equivalent. I buy them cheap online.
with Dorco, right?
Yeah.
And what is Dorco? I've never heard of Dorco.
Dorco is the supplier.
They were the
of
supplier
Dollar Shave
for Dollar
Club.
Shave, right? I don't know if they still are.
I think that they still, I think they do, but they make like custom stuff. But if you do Dollar Shave Club, DorcoUSA.com, I think.
And you can get them on Amazon, but I normally will just order them from their website. It just takes a little longer, so you have to do it ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know? But, you buy like, I don't know, 4 packages of 4 or 5 razors at a time.
Yeah.
Something like that.
The thing that bothers me with the Dorcos, though, is they don't make a powered handle. Do you miss that? Like,
not really.
I feel like
what does that mean?
It was so long ago.
What's
the
a
last
powered
time
handle
I used
mean?
one.
like it's supposed
It's
to
like a mild vibration.
lifts the hairs.
What? I've never heard of this.
What?
No,
I don't
never.
know. Honestly, don't know if it's a gimmick though. I mean,
I think it works because when my battery runs out, it does not shave as well.
really.
Yes.
I've never done this or heard of this.
Yeah,
so,
it's just like the fancy Mach 5s, right? But it has like a little button on it.
Yeah.
And you turn it on, it goes bzzz,
and
it
the
like,
whole thing just kind of vibrates.
What?
Yeah.
and it like shakes the hairs up.
Oh, okay.
That's
So that
theory.
it like entices them towards the blades.
So when you guys shave, here's my situation. I went for a period of time where I used razor blades, consistently for shaving.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to an electric razor,
yeah,
and that had, like the 3 prongs that you had to kind of go
like
in
a
a circle.
Norelco.
Yeah, like a Norelco.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing like a trimmer where I just kind of has like the straight edge and it goes bzzz, like that. But it
so
doesn't
it's-
give as close as a shave as razors, right?
So you're always
Right.
stubble.
So I always have slight stubble. But
Is that what you're going for?
I consistently got razor burn when I used a blade on my neck.
Some people
consistently
do,
get
like
razor-
razor bumps.
Yeah, I consistently get razor bumps on my neck.
They
so it's like I stopped doing it because I couldn't avoid bumps.
Even if you like waited several days between shaving.
Yeah.
Have you
Wow.
guys ever done a straight razor, like gone to like a barber and had him use
Hold on
like
a second. What's the name of the guy that killed a bunch of people using straight razors? There's a movie about it. It was like in England.
Al Bundy?
No, don't think that's an English movie name.
I don't know.
Title. I can't remember.
Yeah.
He was a barber.
Well,
Someone's screaming at this podcast right now.
probably. It's
naming
probably
it.
Jono, because he's so into movies these
Oh,
days.
we're gonna have to talk about Jono in a
Oh
minute
my
here,
gosh.
but we'll get to him in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Jono, I'm very excited to talk about that.
Hopefully
But
he's
do you guys
listening.
go against the grain when you shave
Yes.
Yeah.
on your neck?
Yeah.
You go against the grain on your neck.
I do
Yes.
both.
Damn, how in the world do you not get ingrown hairs when you go against the grain?
Why does that give you? I don't know. I
Sometimes
use
I do.
like natural soap with like coconut oil and stuff in it.
Before you shave?
I put it and after, but that's all I use. I haven't used like razor like shaving cream in a while. I just use a soap that I make. I
You
just
make the
revealed
soap?
a lot
Interesting.
in that sentence. Like it got very
Interesting.
quiet for a
I
second.
almost always go both directions. I go with the grain first and then against the grain after. It's like
So what
mostly
happens if
cleaned
you
up.
went against
It
the
just seems
grain
to be cleaner
first?
that way.
What happens if you went
it
against the
pulls
grain
a lot
first?
harder.
Would you
Yeah,
would
it
you get
just-
razor burn then?
More so, yeah.
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 Yeah, and it just pulls harder while it's cutting, so it just doesn't feel good.
So I can go on
I
my
feel like this is a really good discussion. I don't think men talk about this stuff enough.
on my chin and cheeks.
Yeah.
I can go against the grain, no problem.
Yeah?
But if it's on my neck, whoo,
yeah.
whoo, dang. Let me tell you, I'm gonna get like some. Like,
You
gopher
made a
hole-
comment last week that
gopher-
you could grow a
gopher hole.
neck beard.
Oh, I could grow a neck beard easily.
Really?
Yeah, no problem.
Have you ever Googled neck
No
beard
problem.
and looked at the images? It is horrifying. Like it is. I'm gonna pull some up. Like while we're talking.
Looks
about
like a
this.
monkey or something
Dude,
like that.
no. It's not. No. It's horrifying. I don't understand.
I mean, I could grow a facial beard as well,
where people get to sometimes.
but my facial beard would come out looking similar to like. Do you remember Sunny D?
yeah,
That's what the color of my facial beard would be. It's like an orange, vibrant,
Sunny
Like
D.
Joe Dirt.
like Joe Dirt, but like, yeah, on steroids. Amount of vibrant orange,
Yeah.
yellow colored beard. It's not a easy on the eyes
Mm-hmm.
at all.
But back to the
rough.
arms.
Yeah. Back to your arms.
Yeah, so I don't grow a lot of hair, as you can see. But
okay.
for some reason on my arms, I grow an enormous amount of hair.
No kidding.
And so that's why I started shaving. I just couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
once you start, you just can't stop.
It's easier to maintain.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
easier to maintain. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I just
Yeah.
like it better.
That's
Hey, pull
That's
up the
pretty
iPad
cool.
full screen and
okay.
feast your eyes on this.
All right. Let's see. What? Ladies and gentlemen,
Whoa.
right now we're looking like a man is wearing on his neck a skirt.
That's amazing.
But nay, it's not a skirt. It's
guys,
a neck beard.
for
Dude,
J-
I'm not even kidding.
For January,
Is
Wait,
is he a fawn from the Chronicles of Narnia?
yeah. His name is Tumnus.
Yes.
This is the coolest picture, I think.
Looks
I
like a
actually,
goat.
I
kind of like this.
Do you?
I kind of like this.
We should ask Annie. We should bring her on and ask her what she would think of this.
Because his face is nicely shaved and trimmed.
It is. Oh, it's very smooth.
And below, but literally right below the chin,
Do
on
you-
the jawline,
That is
got a beard coming down.
dedication. You know how long that would take?
Oh, dude, can you imagine what this would feel like? It would feel like you're wearing an armpit. Like,
But I mean, you would never need a turtleneck again.
maybe he lives in a really cool area.
Yeah. Speaking of that,
What, turtleneecks?
who needs those anyway?
Turtlenecks.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
I guess
for real. You can take that off the screen now.
You don't wear turtlenecks, do you, Curtis?
You know, I was thinking about that. Because think about this: like when you wear a fleece or a hoodie and it like covers the back of your neck, sometimes,
Right.
that feels good.
Sure.
That feels good.
Oh.
So, and also sometimes if you wear a sweater, it covers the front of your neck. So a sweater is okay that covers your neck, the front and back, but a turtleneck isn't. So are we having some type of like hypocrisy going on here?
Wait
That
a
because
second.
it doesn't have a
What?
hood,
Hold us on.
it's not okay. But if it's just a simple turtleneck, it isn't okay.
What kind of sweater covers your neck but is not a turtleneck? Isn't that the definition?
No, a
of
sweatshirt, like a sweatshirt, like a
Yeah,
hoodie.
You can get
Oh,
like a
you're talking
long
about
sleeve
You're talking about
turtleneck.
a hoodie.
Yeah, like a hoodie.
Turtlenecks.
We're
like,
talking
officially,
hoodies.
like they fold
right.
down.
We're talking
like,
hoodies.
Like they pull up and they pull down and make a bigger collar. But I like what Mitch Hedberg said about turtlenecks. This is
What he said.
he said. I can't wear turtlenecks. I have to wear V-necks because when I wear a turtleneck, it's like being strangled by a really weak guy all day long. And it's true. It's like,
I couldn't take it.
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't have a turtleneck, but I'm just fighting for those people out there that are turtleneck fans because
What is it you do have? There's something that surprised me that you have that you're
I have
very
cardigans.
into. That's what it is.
I'm a fan of cardigans.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're
he
so
loves cardigans with
comfy
the big old man buttons.
They're so
He like showed up.
comfy
He
cozy.
showed up at a friend's house one time
Yeah.
with one, and I almost thought, "Is this a joke? How am I supposed to respond to this?"
Listen,
And
guys.
I went in with caution,
Listen,
and I was
guys.
like, "Hey, man," and he's like, "Hey, I got a new cardigan." I was like, "Okay, so we're doing this." Like,
For everyone out there that has been wondering if they feel confident enough, if they're like secure in their you know who they are, I encourage you to get a cardigan. Think about this.
this is a confidence. Like, this is not a good like.
They're incredibly
sell for
comfortable.
this.
They're incredibly comfortable. They're easily, unlike a sweater or a hoodie, you can't open the front as much to vent.
True.
If you need to vent,
True.
you just undo the buttons, click, 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 or pop, pop, pop. Easy peasy. They're always going to be, your IQ is going to go up a minimum of 5 to 10 points.
Do you feel
just
like
by
you should
wearing
have a
cardigan?
pipe
That's probably
when
true.
you're wearing one?
Yeah,
Like-
a pipe or a cigar or some type of gentleman-like device that
Yeah.
allows you to increase not only your IQ, but
Definitely not like a jewel pin.
definitely not a jewel pin.
Like, that doesn't match.
That actually kind of
It takes it away.
it subtracts from the appeal of the
What
cardigan.
kind of boating shoes do you wear with this cardigan?
It's true.
Touche.
Yeah.
I do not have any boating shoes. However,
You do have some like old man slip-ons.
I'm trying to
They
think.
kind of like
What are they?
slippers.
Which ones? I have slippers.
Yeah, but you would like wear those places.
Oh, I
when
wear
you're
my
wear-
slippers
when
places.
you're wearing your cardigan, though.
Yeah,
Like,
gladly.
very comfy.
Gladly. I'm a creature of comfort.
It's true.
I do enjoy comfort.
I can
But
support
also,
that.
I've
support
learned
that.
I've learned to enjoy it and accept that
Okay.
comfort because I think it's good to be uncomfortable. It
put
stretches
stresses,
you
yeah.
and it teaches you can handle more. But also, it's good to be able to accept comfort as well, I believe. And if a cardigan is going to provide you comfort and some slippers when you're going out to hang, go for it.
Well, here's the thing: being unnecessarily uncomfortable. Like, why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
Dude, that's a great question.
Right?
Being unnecessarily uncomfortable, unless it has a specific
There's gotta
end
be-
goal.
Right,
I
there's
found, I
gotta be
found a
purpose
picture
behind
of
it.
what
Yeah.
you might look like if you grew a neck beard. And
Well, oh shoot, go for it.
Where? Oh my!
I feel like this is on an MMO champion.
I feel like he looks like an
website.
overweight Sonic the Hedgehog.
Are you showing this to everyone?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it's out there.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
neck beard and all.
This would be like, so I don't have any daughters, so I can't be like, you're not wearing that in public. But if my son came out and looked like this, I'd be like, you're definitely not leaving the house.
Yeah.
Like, we have to work on something.
No, here's the situation. You can have a neck beard. You can have facial beard. You can have chin beard, you know? And we're talking anterior. We're talking a front neck beard. But in theory, a person could have a back neck beard. A posterior neck beard.
What a mullet is?
No. Well, I guess, yeah. But not necessarily.
It's a really low
mullet. You could trim your hair short and then have it grow out long on the back of your neck.
True.
I don't know if it would get that long, though.
I feel like that's going to be worse.
Neck hairs probably only get... Dude, speaking of hairs, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no.
People of all ages.
Did you have one in your butt crack?
Okay. So this is getting a little bit adult right here, okay? So hold on.
Okay.
So the trend for a long time... I just heard about this. I was listening to this this cosmetic surgeon, okay?
Oh, no.
And so...
Wait, okay, I'm putting this down.
So
this is going to get good.
People... the trend was to get like laser hair treatments,
right?
Okay, because they're like, I don't want to get, I don't want to have hair anywhere on my body,
right.
Especially in the nether regions. People were like getting laser treatments and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now
it's not a good place to point lasers.
You have to be very precise.
Yeah, no kidding.
Very precise. You do not want that laser going too intense in any location down there.
No.
But now the trend, get this, is to have hair because people have had it removed and they can't get any back. But now people are saying, hey, you know what? I want a little bit of hair down there. So they're starting to get implants now because they've gotten laser treatments to remove it. But now the trend is coming back to actually get implants. And the thing is, though, some of these implant hairs aren't pubic hair. They're like hair like you would have on your head. So head hair can grow exponentially long.
And that works?
So you're talking like
what?
You're talking like front. You're talking like a front tail.
Yeah,
what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining. It's like a horse.
Like so weird.
If you grew enough, could you walk around without pants on and just look like like
you got a skirt? It looks like you got what are those Hawaiian?
Like those leather flaps. Yeah.
Hawaiian skirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's just like poking out.
You guys heard it here first. The bush is back.
Bush is back.
Yeah. Bush for president.
Actually, it's just called the tail is back.
The tail.
The tail is
the
back
front
in the situation. But an interesting thing is that for a long time, one advantage of people kind of eliminating and the trend being away from, nether region hair is that crabs had a dramatic decrease.
Oh.
So people weren't getting treated for crabs like barely ever in the past 15 years or so, 20 years. But the more hair there is, the more for those little pesky little things to start clinging on to. People are going to start getting crabs if hair comes back, man.
How often do you have to treat that?
Crabs? Dude, I think I've treated it maybe once.
Really?
Yeah, which in like 8 years.
I think the question was aimed at you.
Oh,
technically.
Personally?
No. No, in your practice.
No.
Probably like six times a week.
Maybe once.
I mean,
head lice all the time.
Doesn't that say something for your area? I mean, that's good,
pretty
right?
good. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but also I think it has to do with the fact that it's just it's not as common to grow the bush. I guess one might say it's been a lot more landscaping going on lately in the past few
I think
years.
it should be a selling point. I mean, come to the Willamette Valley.
Yeah, plenty of manscaping and womanscaping going on there.
Yeah,
very few.
We have
the lowest rate of crabs of anywhere in the nation. This side of the Rockies.
Yeah.
Lowest rate of crabs.
Well, what if that was like a requirement, like kind of like vaccines? Like, well, no, we've rid the world of these, and so you must prove that you are shaven.
Prove that you're shaven. Yeah, that would be
or else you can't go to public school.
Oh my God. Well, no, we wouldn't want testing kids. I don't know. Kids is another level of that. I don't know.
Like vaccinate them.
Bro, I don't know. That's a whole nother level.
That's
a little bit. We might get in trouble here, so we're
gonna
be a little careful with kids. But let me just throw a little twist at you.
You made that really weird, and I did not.
Yeah, I brought that to a whole nother level.
It wasn't meant for that, folks.
No.
So let me ask you something.
Oh no.
There's a gentleman out there. We're talking about south of the border.
Way south of the border.
We're talking
south of the equator.
We were talking physically south of the border. Now, we're talking about, geographically south of the equator.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman out there that has a question for us.
Yeah.
And he's from the land of the Oz, one might say it.
He was here for a while. He couldn't handle us, and so he went home.
Yeah, so he went south, back to his homeland, his native land, where the women flock like the salmon of Capistrano.
Yep. The beer flows like wine.
Yep. Little place called Australia.
Yeah.
And he's in Sydney, I believe. Is that correct?
I have no idea.
I believe he's in Sydney.
I don't.
His name's Jono. Welcome to the conversation, Jono. Even though we're not conversing on the podcast, which would be fun to have you on the podcast.
I have it
actually.
here. I'll read his post.
Yeah, he had a little post for me. We're going to throw it out there.
If you want to put it up there, you can.
Boom.
I don't care. Yo, Curtis. On a recent podcast, you made the statement that you love the film John Wick. I am curious if you were taking the piss. I don't know. See, I don't know what that means.
Taking the piss? Oh, no, it's a great term.
Okay, I like it. I'm just...
Taking the piss means like, are you kidding? Are you being... It's kind of like, are you being facetious? Are you joking? Are you like...
I've ever heard that.
I haven't either.
Oh, yeah. It's common in like England and Australia.
Obviously, Australia.
So
yeah.
I was curious if you were taking...
Obviously, Australia. Smart ass.
Taking the piss or being serious. Based off of this glowing review, I went and watched the film, and I am struggling to believe that you would lavish such high praise upon it. This is so formal. Thus, I have come to the conclusion that you were in fact taking the piss, but just want clarification on this so I can make an informed choice on whether or not to continue my high recommendation of your podcasts to people.
Ooh, love it.
Low blow there in the end.
A lot on the line there.
Jono.
Look here, Jono. I'm here too. It's not just about Curtis.
Yeah. Well, let me just throw something out there for the audience real quick. So, guys, I don't know if any of you have seen John Wick or not, but
let's take a poll in this room. I'm gonna by show of hands, who has seen John Wick?
Okay, so we got 2 hands up, which are both mine.
Right.
And we have a couple that aren't, but these people aren't, it just takes time to learn how to be cultured. So,
these people.
Okay, so John Wick, anybody out there that hasn't seen it yet, spoiler alert, here it comes. But also, I don't really care that much because it's been almost 5 years now that all 3 of these movies have been out. There's a trilogy now of John Wick.
Well, the third one's still in the theater, isn't it?
You needs to get caught up if you haven't seen these yet.
Okay.
Catch up. Check yourself. So, John Wick, I wish, Jono, I wish you could have watched it with me. I wish we could have been in the same room and enjoyed this movie and appreciated it and then had a conversation about it afterwards, maybe.
But we are now.
But we are right now. So, John Wick, Episode 1. Movie 1 of the trilogy, and I think there's going to be another one coming, 4th one. So
it's Keanu Reeves,
who I don't think anybody cannot like Keanu Reeves. Is there anything not to like about him?
So we had this discussion recently about Nick Cage as well. There's a lot of movies he's in that he's good at,
Nick
and
Cage?
and there's a lot of movies that he's in, he's awful. And I think that you could say almost the same thing for Keanu Reeves.
I would take some offense to that in the respect that...
One of the movies... We started this podcast because we couldn't watch it.
No. I think the movie was terrible, but I don't think Keanu Reeves was terrible.
In the movie we saw? What was it called?
I think the whole plot, I think the storyline, I think the dialogue was terrible. Everything. I think the writing was terrible. But I think who he was... I don't think he himself was terrible. I think his partner, the female partner, was terrible.
We talked about how bad his acting was in that movie.
I think the writing was bad. I think what he had to say was terrible.
I don't know. When he ran down that hallway and looked like he was stuck on a horse.
No, he's got a bad leg. He runs the same way in John Wick though too, a little bit, if you notice.
Okay.
But he's always injured in John Wick, so it makes sense why he's running like that.
In this movie, he was not injured.
No. So, anyways,
Josh, he ran down this hallway. if you would imagine running down a hallway and the rules were that every step had to be touching the opposite wall that you just touched. That's how he ran. It was like
it was like this.
It was like he'd been riding a horse for 3 weeks
run.
And then ran down a long hallway. It was like gong, gong, and had to be like on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, okay, basically the first movie of John Wick, it takes place where there's this guy. He's pretty wealthy. You see him. He has a sweet, pumped up, I think it's a Mustang, like an old school Mustang.
And he's an assassin, right?
And you see these pictures. Well, you don't know that right away, but you see these pictures, and he has his wife, and you can tell that she's like passed away. And then he gets this like message on a door, or someone comes to his door and then delivers him this brand new puppy. And he gets a letter from his wife, who I think she died from cancer or something like that. And she had arranged for him to have this puppy from her to help him with the transition of her death. So he has this heartfelt like connection to this puppy. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is my wife, like my connection to my wife, you know, and
this puppy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's adorable. I think maybe was it a beagle or something like that? Adorable little puppy. So he goes to a gas station, and he's at this gas station, and these like kind of Russian mobsters who are younger, don't really know him, and they say, hey, we really like your car. Let me buy it from you. He's like, no, it's not for sale. And then they're like, you know, you better give it to me. He's like, punks, I'm not going to do anything. So he goes back to his house, goes to sleep, wakes up. These guys like beat him up, kill his dog, and steal his car. Well, he finds out who it was. Apparently, John Wick used to actually, who used to be an assassin, worked for this kid's dad. And John Wick was like, basically, the character of who he was like, you know, he was an assassin's assassin, essentially. Like, he was the boogeyman. Mm-hmm. Like, he was known for, like, he killed, like, 3 men with 1 pencil. And he, like, freed himself from the assassin life.
Didn't the Joker do that?
He did one
I'm going to make this disappear.
He did one guy. He only did one, remember? Boom.
Maybe he reused that pencil.
Maybe. No, it was in the guy's
head. He's very into recycling.
So the way John Wick got out of this assassin's life is that he did the impossible task, and he killed like this huge mobsters, all of his enemies in one night, and then he got released from the assassin life.
Okay.
But he got, but it's like it's a kind of a cool twist because like it pulled him back into this assassin world because he's like basically I got to kill you and all of your family now because you killed the only thing that I have a connection to my wife now was this puppy.
Yeah.
So it's like a little twist on like usually like someone would get back into the assassin life if his wife got killed or something like that, but it was a little twist. So I like that aspect of it. Also like John Wick, like he's super humble, like in the movie, or he's kind of like approachable, even though he's like this big badass like assassin dude. He's super like cool and chill in the respect of like he doesn't come across like arrogant or you know pretentious or anything.
Well, it's Keanu Reeves.
It's Keanu Reeves.
He's been in the future. He's lived in a simulation.
Yeah, and then like the fighting scenes are really cool.
In a flying
like
phone booth. At
obviously,
one point.
you know, obviously, Jono, this movie is not like realistic. Like he goes and fights, you know, and kills like 100.
Is it kind of like
100 people?
Is it
in one
Wanted?
Night.
Wanted, the one where they shot really far away.
No, not like that. He
No.
doesn't shoot really far away and like curve bullets around walls or anything. But like he has like like basically he's kind of like a modern day samurai assassin where he's got all these different skill sets and
I want to see it. I just have never seen it.
yeah, and it's extraordinary his skills, and obviously there's a lot of times where he probably should have died. But what's also cool about it, like just the simple fact that like they use almost no or very limited CGI in the movie. And instead of spending money on CGI, they spent money on training Keanu Reeves to do all these fight scenes.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And like he like spent a ton of time, months and months and months on like shooting ranges. Like he's actually like a trained marksman. And so you can watch on YouTube like all these
cool.
like he goes to these firing ranges and he's like doing these drills.
Oh yeah, I've heard
and,
of
like,
those. I saw some
tests
pictures
and
from it. I
stuff.
didn't watch them.
Yeah, so he's like actually got like real skills with shooting.
We had to learn those for The Matrix.
But well, this is what ties it in. I'm glad you brought this up for The Matrix. So
1, 2, and 3 all equally good.
Yeah, the director of John Wick, his name's Chad Stahelski.
Yeah.
And he was the stunt double for Keanu Reeves in The Matrix.
What?
So he and Keanu Reeves knew each other really well during The Matrix. And then this guy, Chad, thought, okay, I know how Keanu Reeves moves because I was his stunt double. I know what he can and can't do. I want Keanu Reeves to be... I'm going to direct this John Wick movie. I want Keanu Reeves to be in the main character.
Right.
So it was cool how there was this connection to The Matrix. He was a stunt double that now's directing Keanu Reeves for John Wick, which is pretty dope. I thought.
That is pretty
That's
cool.
a pretty cool,
Yeah.
pretty cool situation.
I like Keanu.
Yeah.
He's going to be in there's a video game, and my son's going to like be yelling at this. I can't remember what it is, but he's going to be in it as one of the characters, but like as himself. There's like
Yeah, that's right. It's
he came out. I can't
what is that?
remember what it is.
Yeah, it's a cool looking video game though.
I know. I kind of want to play it.
No, but essentially like Keanu Reeves.
You're looking at Jess's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jess, my sister, just sent us a picture. I'll pull it up here. And she said, "We found you." We're playing in their living room.
It's
pretty
cute.
Oh, cool.
But then she said,
Jess and David, hey guys.
She said that Cammie is our smallest fan. I said, "Careful, we swear," and then you swore.
Oh,
So.
hey little lady.
Hey, Cammie.
Super cute. Okay, so all that to be said, John Wick, granted, it's a fantasy movie, but it's kind of like a very satisfying action movie where the guy is approachable. He doesn't seem cocky or arrogant.
Right.
And he's kind of fulfilling a lot of fantasies for people that kind of always like the assassin, the underworld, wanting justice, but the assassin underworld is kind of appealing.
Is it kind of like Assassin's Creed, but just like modern day?
Man, Assassin's Creed's quite a bit different because it does a lot of like time travel kind of stuff, and this is more just like an action movie with a guy that has a lot of skills.
So I'm curious. Jono didn't say why he didn't like it.
Yeah, Jono.
That's what like bothers me about this comment.
Jono also has been part of a conversation previously where he is supposed to be coming back to the motherland of the United States.
We're not Russia.
And he's going to be... we had a lot of... Actually, this would be applicable to you as well, Josh. I had a lot of concern about getting massages from a man.
Okay.
It just felt weird to me thinking about having like hairy hands on my back.
Why is this applicable to me?
Well, because you shave your arms.
Okay.
And your hands. So you could give massages to a gentleman and not have the concern of being hairy on their arms.
How often do you have to do that? Like, let's go back and revisit that for a second.
What?
Like, your arms. How often do you have to shave them so they don't like prickly?
Well, ask my wife. She thinks they're prickly all the time because really after like...
An hour?
The second day, they're pretty prickly. But I usually only shave them once a week just because it's a better shave.
What do you shower usually daily? Every other day? Once a week? Depends on the situation.
Lower. But yeah, no, I shave them once a week usually.
Here's a question.
Better shave.
Do you only shave them when you shower? Or do you shave them just like you shave your beard at home?
Actually, I don't always. Sometimes in the shower, but most of the time I will do it in the sink because it's the lights are brighter around the sink and I can see better.
Yeah.
Do you ever miss like one hair and it just drives you nuts for the rest of the day?
Oh man, especially in the beginning, like when I wasn't very good. Mm-hmm.
This is a skill.
You gotta learn the contours of your hand and your arms. But
I know the back of my arm.
I feel like this conversation's going places that make me uncomfortable.
When people say that they know, that's not true. That's not true. They really don't. Not until they've shaved.
You're like, what is that? I guess I didn't.
But yeah, it does bug me because I'm that way.
Yeah. When we were growing up, Josh used to separate his tube socks. That's key to this story.
What does that mean?
By left and right socks.
What do you mean separate them?
Like he would
different drawers?
No, he would pair them together. He would lay them out and be like, "See, this is a left sock and this is a right sock." I'm like,
"Yeah,
they're tubes."
Yeah. Like, you know what's funny about that now?
What
is that? My son Elijah.
Oh yes,
is probably worse than I am.
Oh,
but he doesn't know yet. He hasn't differentiated between like left and right. He just like the tiniest thing in his sock will bother him.
Yeah,
and he'll be like, it doesn't feel right.
It's so frustrating. You're like,
what are you
put
talking
the sock on?
What are you talking about?
Every parent can relate to this.
I'll take it off and put it on like 5 times, and finally it'll be good. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're dealing with yourself. That's what you're doing right there.
It's punishment for what I was like when I was.
I can relate to this in the fact.
And then some kids never wear the right shoe on the right foot. They can't tell.
Yeah, sometimes. But the socks are a tough situation. Like if you're in a situation where you need to leave the house and you're like, just put the sock on, please. Yeah. And you're helping the kid. You're taking it on. You're taking it off. You're moving it left. You're moving it right. And they're like, no, it bugs me. It bugs me. You're like, I'm going to have a meltdown. Why is this sock not working right now? We've removed every possible fiber.
It always comes down to something on the stitching by the toes.
Can we not get stitchless, seamless socks? Like I
think at this point they could grow them. Like they could have a plant that grows socks.
Well, there are seamless socks, I think, but they're like really, really. I think they're expensive, maybe or something.
Jessica says, "Why? Why the shaving?"
Oh yes.
But no, their
arms.
So I know that
hairy.
A previous guest of ours has his arms waxed.
See, I've been thinking about that.
What about Nair?
No,
just like chemical it off.
So bad.
Not good for you.
Have you ever tried Nair? You have.
Maybe we should.
No. Oh, for here.
For the podcast.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if that's a good idea.
But you were gonna wax, Josh?
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I actually tried to a few weeks ago.
Seems a lot more painful.
but they said it wasn't long enough. It was only like
you have to a quarter inch or longer.
It's like 10 days of growth or something. They're like, yeah.
Oh, so you went to like a shop to have them wax it for you?
Yeah.
Well, what about this, dude? Just laser them.
It lasts longer.
Laser them, bro.
That's thousands and thousands.
That's a big commitment.
I have a laser gun,
like you said.
Yeah,
with the nether region.
You don't have to.
Trends might change, and I might.
Oh, you might want the hair back.
No,
okay.
I probably won't.
Dude, but then you could just put regular hair on there.
No, real talk.
And you could grow ponytails off of your arm.
And braid
I have a laser gun for hair removal.
Wait, what?
I have one.
But why?
You own one.
Like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I think we like got one was like a gag gift or something like that, and like it's super it's powerful, but it hurts.
Is it safe?
I don't even
know
it's super
safe.
what is
it's like
happening
a real
right now.
Go to a doctor for that kind of thing?
No. Well,
come on.
I mean, we can bob and weave and get things.
But does it make that sound?
You can change the intensity.
Okay.
Of it if you want it. I can throw it at you. If you want to.
Yeah.
We should try it.
I don't.
We should try it.
That.
Okay.
So you could
Let's try it.
Dude, you want me to go try to find it?
I don't know. Well, sure.
Like right now, you want to try this?
I could go find it real quick.
Let
me try it. Let me go.
Give us a subject before you leave.
Okay. So I was looking at. Let me see if I can go find it real quick. I was looking at.
This is something that I carried all the way to your attic, probably.
Okay. What was NASA doing with SpaceX? I heard they were doing something crazy.
Ooh.
Okay, you
Josh
talk about that real
actually,
quick.
We were talking about this.
I'll be right back.
Wait, before you, let me have that. Yeah, before. Usually Curtis leaves to go to the bathroom, but today he's leaving to find a laser hair remover.
Yeah, he better make this a twofer so he has to leave again.
Oh, he'll probably have to go pee. He always does. Oh yeah, so NASA and SpaceX. So NASA wants to go back to the moon again, and I can't remember if it's by 2025 or something like that. And they have now challenged SpaceX. I guess it was a little while ago actually they challenged them, and they said if you can build one of your rockets to go and land on the moon and you successfully do it and come back, then we'll work with you and award you this contract. But SpaceX really hasn't done anything about it. They've been really busy though.
When did they tell SpaceX this?
It was, if I remember, actually it was a while ago. I don't even know why the article was coming up. Apparently it was something that was a year ago or something that they were talking to them. But right now they're contracting with them to get stuff to the space station. Have you watched any of that? Mm-mm. So you can go, if anyone's listening out there, you should do this. If you don't already, is you go to YouTube and subscribe to SpaceX, and it will alert you when they go live, and they broadcast live with people explaining every step along the way and a timeline and everything when they launch. So sometimes it's at weird, really weird times, but this last few times it's been at 6 o'clock Pacific or 3 o'clock Pacific. And you get to watch these things, and they're all unmanned so far.
Right.
And they go up like a drone, autonomously. But they have cameras inside so you can see the separations happening. They have cameras on the back. And then they broadcast it all. And then they show the heavy rockets that get them out of our atmosphere flying back and landing.
I've seen some of those. So I've seen some of them after the fact.
But you can watch it live all
that's cool.
Meshed together. And then they show it moving on and getting up to speed 27,000 miles an hour to get into orbit to then line up with the space station.
That's cool.
And I don't know how many thousands of pounds, but
did they show it docking with the space station?
They didn't show that because they could. There's probably video of it, but it takes a while for it to get there. It takes a few hours, so the launch doesn't take that long. It's shocking how quickly they get off the planet and out into our upper atmosphere and start to go around. But I think recently SpaceX has really been focused on that, and then also the Starlink stuff, so that the internet in the sky.
Okay, what updates do we have on Starlink? For those of you that don't know, sorry guys, I just came back. The laser, I got some sad news. It's gone.
Oh,
it's gone.
Garage sale?
Not a garage sale. I think in the move, Annie was cleaning out stuff that we hadn't used in a long time, and she just chucked it.
Wow, you guys are really good at that.
I love throwing stuff away we don't use.
It is Curtis's love language is getting rid of things.
Clutter. Too. Getting rid of clutter.
He's like, hey, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Josh, you'll love this.
So satisfying.
Josh is a drummer. He's one of the better drummers I've ever played with.
Mm-hmm.
Super fun. But Curtis, the other morning, we're at practice getting ready to play, and he goes, I think I need to get a floor tom. And I said, yeah, we could just replace the head on the one that you have. Because sad story, a crowbar fell off of his old shelf and went straight through his floor tom.
Nice.
Yeah. And I said, we just get ahead. It'd be like $12 or something like that, something. I don't know the prices. I've thrown stuff out.
Yeah.
And he goes,
$20.
He goes, yeah, I lost that in the move. Like, you lost what in the move? Like, he's like, the floor tom. Like, the whole floor tom? He's like, it went in the garbage.
Oh my goodness.
So because the head was broken and he hadn't used it in a while, poof, gone.
Like, I just couldn't hold on to things like that.
And it was that's taking it too far.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's not practical.
No, it's not.
It's not practical. It's not reasonable.
No, those cores can last forever.
But it's satisfying.
Depending on how.
It is satisfying.
Yeah.
And it got
quality set.
The move was so stressful that I didn't want to have that. If that was one thing that helped to alleviate some stress, I was like, done.
That's funny. So now most drum sets and drummers, they'll have like a unique snare because that's oftentimes not a part of the set, but you're going to have a unique floor tom. You're like, it's a different color and different brand. What is that?
Yep, exactly.
It's a new thing. Maybe you'll start.
Actually, I'm just going to get like a big like a djembe. Put like a big djembe by the side instead of a floor tom.
Doesn't probably go with this.
Or steel and steel drum next to it. Yep. So
sorry. As far as SpaceX, they're still doing testing and throwing more satellites up there and stuff.
You mean no Starlink?
Starlink, sorry.
Yeah, no. Starlink.
Yeah. But what we were talking about is like if you watched any of the launches, there was one that happened this last week that I turned on and watched it. It was like 3 p.m. And it was pretty rad to watch this thing live. Like get, totally once I think the countdown gets to 10 seconds and then it's completely autonomous. Like no people are touching it at that point. Like the whole system takes over itself and it just like starts to fold away and it launches and it's gone. Like, and within like 2.5 minutes, the thing is in the upper atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how fast those things go. And then it just separates and flies back home. Like the heavy rocket pops off and comes back.
Reusable.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I mean, not for me, but for your viewers.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference between SpaceX and
Starlink?
Starlink? Because of course I know, but
that's a great question.
Yeah.
I can answer that.
They're all the same parent company.
I don't
so
know.
the different companies that Tesla or Elon Musk and his group of people, I don't even know what the
Starlink would
is.
fall underneath part of SpaceX.
I think it's separate, but they use SpaceX to do it. So the thing that Tesla will do when they started out with the cars and everything is they'll build something to build upon another technology. So when they built the S, it was to get the technology to build a cheaper car. So they built the 3. When they built the X, it was to build a cheaper model, which is the Y. And then they keep doing that. Well, they've done that with the rockets and stuff too. They're like, we're going to build this so that we can do these things, but it's also to support this next idea, which is internet for the world, which is low Earth orbit satellites that create a gigabit up to a gigabit connection.
Okay.
So they kind of build on each other. So they're all related because they're the same owner, same conglomerate, but they all it's
Starlink
to assist the next thing.
Is the internet one.
Is the internet side of things. So SpaceX is the space, travel, getting things off the ground and all that kind of stuff. And they're handling the ideas that will get people to Mars and all that kind of stuff. And then Tesla's obviously building stuff down here.
Yeah.
So
it's cool.
And they'll all combine. I'm sure at some point Teslas will just have the antenna for Starlink on them, and you'll be able to get your Tesla sent to Mars when you go on vacation via SpaceX.
Yeah. Dude, have you guys watched any of this, kept up to date on any of this Democratic debates going on lately?
I've watched parts of them.
Mm-hmm. Very little.
A lot of people declared the winner of this last time is Andrew Yang.
Really?
Well,
yeah.
Which night? The second night?
The second night, yeah.
I that's interesting because
I mean, there's who knows? It's
I don't think he was
makes me
necessarily the winner because they've decreased the number of people that get to go to the next debate, and Andrew Yang is not part of that. He wasn't part of the 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's still got funding. He
got funding, but he does not have. He needs one other component to be able to get out of that grouping into the 8, and he didn't make it.
Oh, was it cut off already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, now I think there's like a short period of time where they can like make an appeal to get into the next debate, but he wasn't in it yet.
Oh.
And my favorite candidate, who
Tulsi
Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. I've combined both names.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard. She was a Democrat from Hawaii, and she's a representative in Congress. She was a former in the military as well. Yeah. She was it Air Force?
She has some cool ideas.
Military. But she's probably my favorite candidate because she's a Democratic candidate that has kind of some liberal social views, but she's pretty fiscally conservative. And also she has a more kind of almost libertarian kind of nationalist perspective, whereas she's not like because she's in the military, she sees the weight of waging war and the responsibility of like just throwing troops in the Middle East.
Right.
So she sees the advantages and the kind of maybe kind of the deception that we had when we went into Iraq.
Right.
And so she's like, we don't need to be in these places right now.
Yeah.
So I like a lot of her views, but she called out, is it Camille Harris? One of the main candidates right now. She was a former, I think AG in California.
Okay.
But she called out one of the main runners, who was getting a lot of good press because this lady was saying, I've done the most reform anybody's done in California for the justice system and for criminal system.
Yeah.
And really though,
no.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard called her out. She said, "Listen, lady, you had done some of the kind of the most negative impact towards people that were on death row, that wanted to have that kind of prove their innocence by using DNA testing."
Right.
And she denied them a lot to be able to use their DNA testing to prove their innocence. So then the governor, it reached the governor, and the governor said, "No, go ahead and use the DNA testing." And then the DNA testing kind of proved for some of these people that no,
they weren't guilty.
Yeah, they weren't they weren't clearly the culprits.
Right.
And so Tulsi Gabbard called her out on that, and then she also called her out on she had done Kamala Harris. We looked up for me the name of that candidate. She was saying she's done a lot for rights and everything like this of individuals and for reforming the justice system.
Yeah.
But she had done kind of one of the kind of convictions and restrictions on people that had been imprisoned for cannabis use.
Right.
And she herself, though, admitted that even though after she'd done all this kind of negative stuff towards people that had been convicted of cannabis use, she admitted that she had smoked pot and she had inhaled, and then she was laughing about it. And she's like, "Yeah, of course I've used it and stuff." And but you're convicting these people for the same thing that you yourself have admitted doing. So
what was the one you're looking for?
Something Harris. Her last name's Harris.
Biden? Or no?
Biden.
All it shows is Harris. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, Joe Biden.
It just shows all their last names. It doesn't show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's annoying.
Okay. So anyways, yeah.
Speaking of that, I heard something that was a little bit disturbing this week, and that was that among the people that are
Kamala Harris, that's her name.
Kamala. Okay. You were close. Was that among the people that have been lobbying against federally legalizing cannabis was the private unions of prisons.
Yeah. Totally.
Huge funders of not legalizing.
Yeah, makes sense.
That makes sense.
Because if you're privately...
Because they're going to lose... They're going to... If people start getting released and they're not coming in there for that, you're going to lose a lot of your privatized...
Mm-hmm. You could lose... So here's the thing I'm curious about. And actually, this might be a good question for you, Josh, because this is your world. Not completely, but in some ways. You work in the justice system, and you're a... what would you call yourself? A corrections officer?
Yeah.
Corrections officer.
Some parts of the country call them correctional officers. But
correctional.
I think that sounds ridiculous.
Okay.
The East Coast mostly. Seriously, there's
different terms.
No term is wrong, but yeah.
Anyway, I could think of some terms that are wrong.
Popo 50 fuzz are the most.
Yeah. They affectionately call us COs.
COs.
It's not derogatory.
Gotcha.
I guess some people might think so, but it's not where we come from.
So, here's a question, and I'm not a legal scholar. Or have very, very, very limited kind of education in this world. But so if they legalized federally cannabis, would people that are in prison for cannabis convictions alone, would they have to let them go?
I don't know. That's a court issue. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds reasonable that they would, but you're still talking about somebody that committed a crime at the time it was illegal.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how they do that. We haven't dealt with any of that.
Because it's legal. Because it's legal in Washington State where you live, cannabis now.
Right. It has been for a while.
So it was before Oregon, or was it?
Yeah, before Oregon. Yeah, like a year or two.
Yep.
But I'm curious if they had to like expunge or let go some people that were like convicted of just possession or something.
Yeah. So Seattle in general and King County, which is the Seattle area, right?
Yeah.
They are very progressive anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Most people know that, and liberal, very much so. So going into that, like ahead of time, they were already not prosecuting it.
Oh, okay.
So
before they,
a lot of states have done that.
Say what you will about that, but for a long time leading up to it, and still to this day, they're known for being very soft on all types of drug crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And just not really putting the hammer down as far as sentencing goes for those charges, even when it comes to like hard narcotics and stuff, and even sale and delivery of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And so
that's kind of like almost looking at a progressive view leaning away from the war on drugs, essentially.
Yeah.
Which, leading back to this conversation as far as these private lobbyist groups that have private prisons and private security, companies.
We talked a little bit about the privatization of that last week with the border, or was it last week?
No, well, yeah, we did talk about border a little bit,
and then the 2 weeks prior when we did the whole border.
But there's
stuff.
a lot of reason for them to not want certain things to be legalized, because potentially you could have a decrease in population in these prisons, and then these private companies mean loss of jobs, and then there's some
which I get, but I just think it's like, oh, hey. Are you doing that because you care about people using it, or are you doing it just because it's going to monetarily hurt you?
Yeah. Basically, it's a bottom line.
It makes sense that the drug companies would be like, okay, we don't want this to come out because they can't patent it, and if it keeps people off of some of their medications and not hooked on their stuff, then it's your bottom line. I still think it's a dirty thing to do, but both of those are just like, Yeah. Those are my thoughts. I don't have a whole lot of deep thoughts on it.
Yeah.
But
if you take it back further, I mean, how do you guys feel about privatized prisons in general?
Mm-hmm. Great question.
Like, is that a place that we should have private?
So I think there's a distinction between private prison and private like jail. Like,
how so?
Well, prison and jail are different.
Prison and jail are different, and so
right.
I personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I think that does things like this, where it pushes people to, because business is about numbers, unless it's like a nonprofit that's not trying to like make more money the next year. But business, like, we have this weird thing that goes on where people want to like increase every single year, like staying the same and it's fine. It's business. You're in it to make money. If you're publicly traded, then you're in it to make money for your stock, all that kind of stuff. But it does something weird, because we as a culture and as a society shouldn't want people to end up there, but that business is based on how many people end up there. And if their business is going to continue to grow, they need more and more people.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think it creates a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest, definitely.
Yeah.
But also I think the flip side of that is the government has never been known to be fiscally responsible or be the most efficient with handling funds. So the question is if we have all these prisons and jails be completely run by the government, is it kind of a poor use of finances?
Yeah.
But at the same time, that might be better.
But it's still being paid out.
Might be better.
The government's still paying out to house those people,
right?
To the private industry.
It's just less.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe
if the government handled it and there wasn't as many people in there, it would end up being less money. Even if they weren't being fiscally smart, they may end up overall spending less money.
I mean, I'm curious what percentage of prisons have people in custody for drug-related crimes, whether it's possession,
like right
sell,
now, nowadays.
Yeah, whether it's possession, sell, use, anything that's not necessarily violent crimes, but just like the use of or possession or sell. I would wager it's a significant amount of people.
Yeah,
does it seem like when you're in the courtroom, like what percentage of cases does it seem like you hear?
It's very little, but my world is a little different. So I work in a misdemeanor jail. Okay.
Right.
So anything that's really going to get prosecuted in our area, in the King County area, is going to be a felony if it's drug related, and it's not going to go through us. It's going to sometimes they'll sit in our jail maybe for a day or two to talk to a detective, and then they'll move on, right? But they're not going to stay there and go to court on it or anything like that.
Okay.
And so we don't see a lot of that because it's all felony stuff, right? Misdemeanor stuff.
Yeah. What's a misdemeanor?
So what's a misdemeanor? It depends on the state what they
I got a lot of questions about these.
Misdemeanor, but there's two levels of misdemeanor. Okay. It's a gross misdemeanor and just a regular misdemeanor. And what is attached to that is how long they can sentence somebody and how much they can fine them. Okay. So for example, a gross misdemeanor, you can be held in jail up to 364 days. So basically a year.
Just short of
a year, right? No longer than a year on one charge. Okay. And like a $5,000 fine, I believe. Dang. And then when it comes to a misdemeanor, the longest they can hold you is 90 days in jail. Okay. And so it's just different.
Give me an example. What's the example of a gross misdemeanor versus?
As an example, a gross misdemeanor would be like punching somebody in the face.
Okay.
You
can be held in prison for a year.
You assaulted somebody, but you didn't do enough damage to make it a felony, meaning you didn't break bones or do anything serious. It wasn't aggravated or
so punching somebody.
So punching somebody in the face, right? Doing harm to them, but fairly on a relative term
would be a gross misdemeanor.
Would be a gross misdemeanor.
Whoa.
Right?
Okay.
There is no such thing as just a straight up misdemeanor, at least in Washington.
Okay.
A misdemeanor assault. Now, when it comes to just a regular misdemeanor, it's small things like a lot of city codes, like unlawful bus conduct, like your criminal trespass is just a regular misdemeanor.
Okay.
Second degree, I think. First degree might be a gross. I can't remember, but anyway.
Okay.
So
next question would be, tell me
before we go into that, I have some numbers here I looked up. So current numbers as of this was in March of this year, is that state prisons, all told across the United States, have 1.3 million people imprisoned right now.
Wait, say that again?
1.3 million people in prison total. Okay. Of that, 198,000 are held on drug charges. 45,000 of those are just drug possession.
Okay. And what would be interesting is to see what types of drug charges those are.
Yeah, this doesn't break it down.
How did you say 198,000 or drug related?
198,000 are drug related.
Okay, so you're looking at just under 20% of those are drug related charges. Right. Mm-hmm. So in prison right now, approximately 20% of individuals are in there related.
You said
to
those
drug.
are just
That's
possession?
just state prisons. Federal prisons
just drug
are 221,000
overall.
But then 20% of those are.
So a lot of those could be people dealing and selling.
Well, see, there's more drugs too, because local jails, there's 35,000 that are held on drug charges right now.
198,000. Yeah. I guess I would say first of all,
now remember, that's just state prisons. It's not including federal prisons.
Oh, that was just state.
with federal prisons, there is another 16,000 held on drug charges.
That's not that
many.
I would have thought way more.
Not what I would think.
No.
I honestly think 1.9
non-convicted people in local jails as of this writing. There's 118,000 held on drug charges that are non-convicted.
Doesn't 1.2 million? Was it 1.2 million overall in prison?
1.3 in state prisons.
1.3 in state. Uh-huh. Okay, that even I guess
amongst everything. Let's see here. 600.
We should probably differentiate the difference between jails and prisons. Some people.
Well, there's also state prison and federal prison.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
So jail is
Josh could do that.
Josh, distinguish jail and prison.
So I work at a jail. Jail is any place that you would go to for the time period of which you're either going to trial or you're getting convicted.
You're waiting for trial.
You're waiting for trial. And so if the judge chooses to hold you on bail, right, and not let you go, which just depends on their history and their charge. So if they do that, you're going to be held in a jail, whether or not it's felony or not. If it's a felony charge, almost always it's going to be a county jail in the county seat and where that felony was committed. Okay, so even if it was committed in some random city and they have their own jail, they're still going to most likely, if it's a felony, they're going to go to that county.
Did you say, because I was looking this up, did you tell him how long someone could actually be in a jail, like maximum time?
Yeah, well,
depends on how many
charges. Yeah.
But you told me one time, like, if the charges add up, they could end up being there like 10 years.
Sure. So yeah, like on a gross misdemeanor, it's no more than 364
for
days,
one charge.
Right, for one charge. If the judge convicts you to that, right, and you're going to get good time off of that,
right,
unless you're, a big problem in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's automatically deducted off unless they act out, and we give have a good reason to take it away, right? Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, if you got multiple charges and the judge sends you to, let's say, 3 convictions of assault 4th degree, right? That are separate convictions, and he runs them consecutive, which is one after the other, and not
instead
concurrent.
Instead
of all together, which is concurrent, which is more common probably to be concurrent, but it depends on the city, right, and the jurisdiction. Then you would have to run that first year, which would be a third off of that. You run like 8 months, right? And then the next one, 8 months, and then the next one, 8 months.
It just depends on how many you have.
We've had guys even in our jail that were there for over 2 years.
So
what's
the difference between this?
So in a prison, you're gonna only go to prison if you are convicted of a felony.
Yeah. Right.
A felony offense that you're convicted of.
So that's a state prison.
Once you've either pleaded guilty and you've been sentenced, or you've gone to trial and you've been convicted guilty, then you're going to go on. You're going to get moved to a prison that's a long-term
How
facility.
do they decide if it's state or federal?
Yeah, that's what's
prison.
That just depends on the jurisdiction of it. Yeah, the crime of it.
So if it's a felony, like a federal felony,
if it's crime of passion,
if it's something that falls under their
you go to federal prison.
If it falls under their jurisdiction of like something the FBI is taking care of, or the ATF or whatever it is, they're gonna go to a federal detention center. Or if it's like an ICE thing, right?
Do you know
immigration issue?
What the difference is between like first degree, second degree, third degree? Like what's the difference between all those degrees of murder?
First degree is the worst.
First degree is the worst?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So first degree would be like a premeditated murder. And then on top of that, they usually have like...
So you do a meditation before you kill the person?
Some type of like, guided meditation.
Yeah.
But on top of that, they have what they call sentence enhancers, right? So you hear like on the news a lot, they'll say like aggravated assault. It's not really a different charge. It's just that the crime was so heinous that the judge deemed it to be that way.
Okay.
And so... because of that designation of aggravation, they can sentence them for a longer period of time, right? So if it's like...
It sounds like they were aggravated to commit assault.
If it's a real heinous, premeditated murder where somebody really got butchered and it's, CSI, TV stuff, then they can sentence them longer because of that.
So do you know what the difference between second degree and third degree is?
For some crimes, it just depends. Like I could tell you, like for like theft charges, like theft 1 is a felony charge, and that is because if you've stolen something that's more value than $5,000 or higher, it's going to be a theft 1.
Okay.
Right. If you steal something that's above $750, which they might be changing that soon, I think to $1,000, but $750 up to $5,000, that's going to be a second degree. Felony. And then your third degree is just a misdemeanor. Anything below $750.
Okay, so it's not a felony.
From a candy bar up to $750 is not a felony.
But anything above $750 equates
just
to a felony.
Don't steal more than 750 Snickers.
When it comes to assault and murder, it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's always felony.
There's different progression. Yeah, it's always felony, but there's different progressions of it, right?
Okay.
So premeditation would be one of them. Like a murder 2 would be like, I got in a fight with a guy and I ended up killing him, but I didn't plan to do that ahead of time.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And third degree might be like you're like
I don't even know if there's a third degree murder, but I mean, there might be in some states. I don't know.
Maybe it's like if you're driving and somebody walks in front of you and you like didn't see them.
That would be manslaughter.
That would be it would be like involuntary manslaughter or voluntary manslaughter. There's both of those too.
So manslaughter is kind of a lesser degree than murder.
One of those I signed up for. The other one just happened.
But there's also this also this law. There's also this law, or this is predetermined by case law. So if you're committing a felony and somebody is killed in the process, then you can be charged with that murder because it only would have happened because of you initially committing that first felony.
You didn't.
So in other words, if you break into somebody's home and commit a burglary charge, right, and in the process of that you fight and try to struggle and get away from the homeowner, right, and you end up killing them, you're going to get charged with probably a second degree murder, or some type of manslaughter it might plead down to, plus the burglary, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mom made comment about the Elijah stuff. She said, "Thanks, Elijah. What goes around comes around. Sweet revenge." I can handle him.
I got it.
Okay. That's funny. We've got a visitor.
Yeah, we have a visitor. Someone's knocking on our door.
Knocking on. Anyway, so that's, main difference is, people that commit felonies and are convicted of that, they go to prison. And if it's like a short term, let's say they commit a felony and it's like possession of heroin or something, right? Mm-hmm. They may only do like a month or two, right? And they're, for those purposes that are less than a year, they're just going to stay in the county jail and serve their time there, and they won't ever go to prison.
Gotcha.
Okay, but if they're going to serve more than a year, they'll ship them off to a prison.
Gotcha. Yep. Interesting. Super interesting stuff.
I'm trying to find this link. Josh and I were talking about this on the way over. He was looking at our notes. Oh, here it goes. Did you see this article with the CPR face? I thought that you would find this hilarious. The CPR doll's face is actually a copy of a 19th century drowned woman's face.
That's creepy.
That doesn't make sense.
Is it? For real?
So she was unidentified. They didn't know who she was. And back then they made like death masks for people as like a memorial before they like buried them and stuff.
Dude, we're looking at pictures of this dead lady's face. And then the CPR mask or face.
And so they made her face. So next time you go to take a CPR class, which I think I'm taking one like next week or something. There you go.
Oh, here. Hey, let me pull up a link real quick. Or go just scroll down to the very bottom.
Being really weird.
Scroll down to the very bottom and there's a video. I want to show you guys this video. It's pretty funny. Oh, it's not pulling up.
That's because my iPad's being funny.
Why is it not pulling up?
I don't know. I might have to restart my iPad. Whoa. Oh. I did see this one earlier.
Super funny.
I might be able to pull it up on Instagram. Hang on. I got to restart the iPad, though, because it's
okay. I'm going to throw out some shower thoughts while you're pulling that up, okay? You throw out some shower thoughts here.
You're all done?
Yeah.
Is that your way of saying?
Wait. Well, no, I mean, I'm not.
Oh, dude,
we're at an hour and 15.
Oh, my goodness. That flies.
Goes quick, baby.
Isn't that weird?
Dude.
See, that's
now I know why your podcast is so long.
I know, because you're like, oh, my gosh, are we done talking? Like
when
so
you're in the moment, it's just like,
yeah,
this conversation, when you're doing a podcast, is really interesting. You're in a conversation and the whole world is kind of gone.
Yes.
You're just in this moment, and it's a really flow state kind of situation where you're not.
Right.
Well, it's weird, too, because, like, Curtis and I have watched movies with this on, so you can hear each other talking during watching the movie. It's almost like a superpower, because, like, you're across the room from me, but you're like right here. Like even if you talk over me or I talk over you, we can still hear each other. Like we're forced to listen to each other.
Right.
So anyway.
It's like you're hearing each other. I mean, we are in each other. You're hearing each other in each other's minds.
Yeah.
Without like any degradation in the sound.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't.
I'll say it is a pretty cool way to talk. Even when we were starting out and just sound checking, it's interesting to put the headphones on and then you have this weird isolated conversation between the three of us, you know.
You're forced to be
even though there's nobody else in the room. It's just
often,
I don't know, you can hear each other better.
It's such a cool experience because how often do you sit down with an individual and literally just talk for an hour and 15 minutes? It
like forces you to focus on what the other person has to say.
Yeah. It's a really cool platform to have conversations.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a quick shower thought out there, guys.
It's playing.
Oh, did you find it?
Yeah, I think.
Let's see.
No. It's still not playing.
No.
That's messed up. Folks, we'll put the link up.
Shoot. Sorry, guys.
It's really funny. I saw it this week, too.
So we'll explain to you guys what it is. It's a video of... Here, I'll pull it up on my phone so you can see it.
I might be able to stop it on my computer real quick.
So it's a video of a bunch of kids that are running, and they're all trying to hop this like big area that's kind of cordoned off fence. And I think it was at like a concert or something. And there's a bunch of kids running, and they're running to the point where they're like knocking over the fence, and it's like hundreds of kids, college students, and they're running, all trying to run away from like these cops, and finally they're all running over, jumping over the fence. The fence starts falling down because there's hundreds of kids hitting it, and the one kid that's in the very back gets caught, and it's a poor kid that has one leg and has what's it called, a spare leg. He
has a prosthetic.
Oh my gosh, I was in brain fart.
It's just not gonna work.
So
sorry, we'll put a link up.
Anyways, but they're saying like it's practice for storming Area 51.
Oh jeez.
Oh my gosh. Actually, that's kind of what I thought it was at first, and I was like, oh no. Oh
yeah. So watch out if you try to storm Area 51. Make sure you have both your legs, because otherwise.
And watch that video first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught.
You're gonna get caught.
You're gonna get caught. Okay.
Okay, man. Let's
do it.
Are we ready for shower thoughts? Josh, do you have any last parting words going into shower thoughts? We'll probably end up talking about these too. Sorry, folks. That's just what we do. It's our show.
I feel like we got on a tangent about the jails and prisons thing, but we never finished that conversation. But I don't even know where it was going.
There's probably not an end to that conversation.
But I don't have anything.
It just is what it is, man.
Yeah.
It's a conversation.
It's because we're talking about privatizing. Well,
I
actually am kind of curious. Before we go into shower thoughts, what is your take on privatizing them? Are you?
Here's what I think. I think it's a catch-22 from what Curtis was talking about, because he's got a good point. Government's not efficient at all,
right? In
anything they do, right? But there are purposes for the government, right? I think in this situation, if you kind of take a step back, I think that if you value human life over money, then you keep it with the government.
Yeah.
If you don't, I think it's the other way around.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it.
Because what's more important?
Yeah.
Right.
That how you, like in my job, for instance, like the number one thing is like making sure that the inmates stay safe.
Right.
That's like they don't escape and they stay safe. Right. Safe from each other, from doing bad things to each other. And they've got their basic rights, their food, their water, their health, that kind of thing, right? And
is the food pretty good there?
It's not. It sucks.
Okay.
Yeah. It's terrible. And
I went and took a tour of his.
And
do you ever can you get free? Can you go to their cafeteria and eat their food?
No.
I
mean, well, yeah. I guess I probably could take one of their trays, and they wouldn't care, but I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, it's
nasty.
I saw it when I was there because I actually went and toured his facility. It's pretty cool. If you ever get a chance,
that'd be fun, dude. I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
Let's go up there. Let's do it.
Okay,
let's go up there.
Come on up and take a tour. Yeah, it's not a privatized jail by any means.
Right.
In fact, there's not. I don't know if there's any in Washington. I could be misquoting, but I don't think so. They're not common, especially not in this side of the country, right?
Yeah.
But it still does come down to money, just like anything else. Even like a lot of government agencies, right? Money talks, and so it's one of those things where it's lowest bidder. I don't know if we'll have this contract forever, because we have a contractor that comes in and does the food, right?
Oh, okay.
So and we're on our second one since I've been there. The facility's been there for 8 years. So
it's actually a nice facility as far as like
it's fairly new as far as jails go.
It's new, and it's pretty interesting like how it's put together.
I mean, most jails you walk into are like 50 plus years old, and they're pretty gross and dingy, but
it's actually like not gross, at least in the parts I went.
Not like Green Mile.
No, not at all.
No Sparky.
So anyway,
that's cool.
Yeah,
dude.
There's some good ones.
There's some good ones,
dude. I did. About this. Guys, this week Jordan curated the not deep thoughts.
The deep. Well, they are kind of deep.
Deep thoughts by Jack Candy.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you remember Deep Thoughts? Did you ever watch them?
No.
Oh, they're so good. They're like shower thoughts, except they just
more deep.
Were made up by Jack Candy instead.
You go. Lead the way, Jordan.
Oh man. No, you go first because you were just reading them. I don't remember even what I put these in there like 1 a.m. last night.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start off since we've had a lot of baby talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start off with sleeping like a baby. Sounds more like you were up all night crying and crapping your pants. That's a good point. That's more of a literal term there.
Okay. Because of the whole SpaceX thing going on and just amazing exploration. I picked a few that are like spacey. Whoever said aim for the moon, even if you miss it, you'll end up among the stars, really has no knowledge about the universe.
That's true.
Say it again.
Whoever said aim for the moon, even if you miss it, you'll end up among the stars, really has no knowledge about the universe.
That's funny. Yeah.
This is kind of a cool thought. There's prehistoric creatures that we'll probably never even know existed, simply because they were in areas where there wasn't like correct conditions to preserve their remains
or fossilize them.
Mm-hmm. So there's probably thousands of creatures that obviously, like, you know, like with the Kraken, you know, it's a great example.
Speaking of Kraken, spicy is the only flavor you can feel with your butthole.
That is so funny.
Oh, whoa.
You can't be like, ooh, that cake.
Yeah, that was sweet.
That cake
coming
feels
out.
good.
That was sweet coming out. That was real sweet.
You can't be like, ooh, it was extra smooth because I had ice cream.
I mean, you could, fatty you can definitely feel if it's super fatty, I guess.
Right, but you don't like, it's not like
loose.
It's not the same.
Spicy
Taste.
That's a great point.
The same in your mouth.
The person who named the belly button must have had an Audi.
It's true.
Why would it be called a button? A belly? Yeah, I mean, it has to have been an Audi.
I love this just because I love things put literally. Because when you see something ridiculous, you often think that's ridiculous. But if you really literally say what it is, it sounds even crazier. Nickelodeon really showed us, they really did this, a cartoon about a talking sponge who lives in a pineapple with a pet snail who meows like a cat, and we just fell in love with it.
That's so true.
So it's
ridiculous.
That's the literal description of SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's kind of weird.
If your heart is a muscle,
you need to get closer to your mic.
If your heart, me?
Yeah.
I must be turned. Let me fix
You
it.
are.
There we go. If your heart is a muscle the size of your fist, which it is, then your fist is a weapon the size of your heart. Punching me with your heart.
A coat of arms sounds terrifying.
That does sound terrifying.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I always wondered as a kid, why do they call it that?
Mm-hmm.
Like that is
weird.
Like, who died to make that saying? A lot of people. What if the original one, the emblem was just actual arms for this family that just massacred a bunch of people?
Maybe.
They're like, let's call that coat of arms from now on.
Dude, Girl Scout cookies are a corporate invention that somehow gets away with child labor.
So true.
I hate the stand of Girl Scout cookies.
I love mimosa cookies, if they're called.
I don't really eat the cookies. I just don't like being bombarded.
The pressure.
Yeah.
That's a good question though. Is that
child labor issue?
No, is it a for profit, that brand?
Oh, it's a good question.
The cookie brand.
I think it is.
I'm sure it is because they have like it in ice cream now stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know. Drive it like you stole it, speaking of jails and prisons, should really mean going the speed limit with the radio off, hands at 10 and 2, and probably using blinkers.
That's hilarious.
You'd think, but people aren't that smart.
I know.
Right. The longer you're told to wait in the ER, the more likely you'll be fine. That's true, too. Because you're at a lower acuity.
Here's some advice. If you have to convince someone to love you, they're not the one.
That's good.
That's sad and true. Yeah. If someone claims they have no weakness, one of their weaknesses is they don't know themselves well enough.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Our remains and belongings could end up in museums and be labeled as ancient artifacts.
That's true. Yeah, that's kind of a cool thought. Dude, I think that's it. I think it's all of them, man.
Is it?
That's weird.
I think that's it.
Wait, no, there's one more.
I think that's it.
As you grow taller, you unlock more shelves at the supermarket.
It's a video game.
Oh, it's all a simulation, folks.
It's all a simulation, baby. Dude, that was solid, man.
That's fun.
Josh, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah,
Boom.
thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man.
Josh thought things went fast. That's good. I don't think we've had a guest say, "Is it over yet?"
Oh my God, that took too long.
Yeah, they're always like, "Whoa."
No,
okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any thoughts, please hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to us.
Give us a like.
Please.
Hit the little bell so you get
button.
notified
Ding,
when we
ding,
go live
ding.
for times
Tell
when
us
we
what you
go
like.
live at weird times.
Tell us what you don't like. We really appreciate you guys, and we're excited about the future. More fun stuff coming up. And
Jono, if you're still listening and you still like us, tell us what you didn't like about John Wick.
Yeah.
And maybe I should go watch this movie.
Yeah, Josh and Jordan both need to watch it. But also, Jono, you did reference this, mini podcast ago that you were looking forward to giving me a massage.
True, and coming on the show. So you need to come on the show whenever you hit the States. So let us know. All right, guys. We love y'all. Hope you have a great weekend.
All right.
We're out.
See ya.
Peace.